afternoon and welcome to episode 30, a very special episode of You Can't Teach an Old Gamer New Tricks on a snowy afternoon here in Edmonton. I'm not Ryan, you may notice. I'm Rob. We're mixing it up a little bit because we're both really bored and stuck in the house. So today I'm going to be driving the ship and Ryan's going to be doing the dad jokes. So as always, I'm Rob, and with me as always is my good friend Ryan.
Hey everybody! I'm just happy to be here.
How you doing, fella?
Good.
Good. It's been there's been some news, nothing too big, but we're going to cover all the news here. But first, we're going to start off with some housekeeping, as always.
Housekeeping.
Yeah, there you go, filling in like a champ. So Ryan and I had the great honor last night of guest hosting or being guests on a Mr. Chris Chipman's podcast, shooting the poop, except not poop.
No.
You can fill in the blank. But he had us on there. There's a really funny story behind it. We don't want to spoil it while we're on there, but give it a listen. When we have a link, we'll link below in the video, and we're going to link on the website for that podcast, and also check out all the other podcasts he does. He's quite busy, very good at what he does, and we were honored to be on there.
Absolutely.
You bet.
It's a blast.
It was a great time, and he's going to be a special guest host on our show next week, so look for that as well.
So we should take this opportunity to say that we'll guest on anybody's show. We loved it. We had a lot of fun. If you want us as guests, we're free. We work for beans, honestly. Actually, we'll work for toilet paper. Yes.
That was low-hanging fruit right there. Yeah. That was really good.
As soon as I said beans, I'm like, what's better than beans?
Yep, you've got toilet paper because you need the toilet paper after the beans. Okay. So yeah, we'll have a link to that. Like I said, we were super stoked to be on it, and it was a great time. But to the news. And number one in the news, because Ryan made the list, no, because it's super big news, is that it started off as rumors. I believe it's been confirmed as to which games it is, but they're going to, coming to the Switch are some Mario remasters, including, I believe, Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario 3D World, and Super Mario Galaxy as part of the 35th birthday celebration for the franchise.
So
I'm gonna pass that on to you because Nintendo's your baby. So
yeah, of course, super stoked about that because I keep trying to go back and play Mario Sunshine, but it's a process, because I use a Wii on my computer, on my TV, and with the GameCube ability. That's how I play GameCube games now. But I gotta. It's honestly laziness too, because then I gotta get up from my couch, grab a Wiimote. I don't have that that input programmed into my remote, so I gotta find the TV remote to switch to that. And it's a whole process. And so when I do play it, I play it for a couple hours, but then and I always intend to go back and finish it, but just never get around to it. But if it's on my Switch, I'm going to be playing it all the time. Play it before bed. I'll play it when I'm going to the bathroom. I'll play it when we're watching TV I'm not really interested in.
Absolutely. That's good. It's great news. Yeah, and those are only this is reported by VGC and Eurogamer, I guess, were the ones that broke that story there.
One thing I recently fired up like 2 weeks ago, Galaxy.
Yes. And
it relies a lot on the waggle controls.
Yep.
So I'm really curious how they're going to port that to the Switch. The same I've thought about with Metroid Prime 3. Because everyone's like, give us the collection before the new one comes out. And 3 is full of the waggles.
Right.
They're going to have, how do you get around that? You have to basically redesign the whole game.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's a huge, in Galaxy, it's a huge part of it. You're shooting things with the target on the screen, right?
Right. I guess with the with the Wii U Pro, or the Wii U, not Wii U, the Switch Pro controller and the Switch itself, there's gyro controls. Maybe they're not as exact, but maybe they'll use some sort of lock-on,
Oh, that's
like
a
a
good
very
point.
generous lock-on or something.
Yeah. Well, because when you finish a level, you got to aim at the star and fill it up with stars that you've collected, right?
Or with the collection included, a Switch IR bar that comes with every game, and you can whip out the old Wii remotes. It's not happening. It's not happening.
I mean, the gyro controls in the Joy-Cons are good enough that you could probably just point them at the screen and like kind of start them out, and
Sure.
yeah, I don't know, but it'll be really interesting to see how they do that.
I wonder if it'll be one of those games where they have, like, you remember with Odyssey, where they had you could put a Joy-Con in each hand, and the one would do things like this.
Yeah, one would be your hat controls, and one is the Mario controls. Yeah,
maybe.
Either way, I'm super excited.
You bet. Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think Super Mario 3D World is a very underrated game as well. Looking forward to that one. Not that it's going to look that much different, but one less reason to bring up the Wii U. So
that's another interesting thing that they'd have to work around, because there were puzzles in that required the microphone that were in the gamepad.
Oh, okay.
In Mario 3D World.
Right.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they work around all this stuff, right?
Right. And in Super Mario 64, you need to have some way to break two of your fingers while you're playing the game.
Oh yeah, they'll just.
So that's
they'll be like, you're required to tape these fingers together to play this game.
That's right. That's right. And every so often we'll send a painful electric shock to simulate the. Right on. And so we'll move on to what is truly the biggest news story of the week, is that Atari, desperate for money, is my theory anyway, is releasing an RPG for Pong, starring the Pong battle.
Yeah.
This is not an April Fool's joke. This
is
real. And it's going to be for PCs, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One, sometimes later this spring, for the grand total of $15. What do you think of this?
It kind of looks like a family RPG. Like,
oh, sure.
Of course, you're these like 3D rectangles, like, and you can get outfits for them, and they're all they've all got wigs and and stuff on. Like, I don't know, it looks fun. Looks like just silly old fun.
Yeah, and I mean the price is right, so
yeah,
if it has anything in it at all, then why not? How long till like Centipede or Space Invaders, the the survival game, or
the
horror game starring Centipede? Or
do you remember like with PS2 there was like a whole, in that generation there was like a whole reboot of like a lot of these Atari games?
Yep,
like,
you bet.
They were trying to do modernizations of them.
Yep, they had some on the PSP as well.
Yeah.
And it's just they have the original, and then they have the reimagining, and some of them were okay, some of them were. But yeah, Atari's in some big need of money right now. They're getting sued by everybody, so with their VCS console, that's not going great. So, but we'll see. Moving on, we got the Intellivision Amico news, which, I mean, anything Intellivision news is something I posted, so it's but they've announced their they've announced 5 of the 6 launch titles, like pre-installed titles, with most of them not being terribly surprising, reimagining of old Intellivision games. You got Skiing, where you can have up to 8 people at once. Shark, which is, that game was you're a small fish, you eat the fish that are smaller than you, you get bigger. Carry on until the shark gets you. Astro Smash, which is like a Space Invaders kind of game, but everything's falling and you have to shoot it before it hits the ground. Cornhole, which must mean something different down in the States, but I guess it's it's like a beanbag toss game.
Oh,
so
yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm.
And Farkle, a nice rolling board game for the entire family. So yeah,
so they're having trouble naming the last couple of games there. I'm getting from that list.
I'm guessing, yeah. I don't know if they've announced the sixth one yet or not, but the store is going to have more games available at the time, and they're going to be, it says $2.99 to $9.99. Everything's going to be E10, so rated for everyone is all going to be family games, which is what they're going for. I've seen some gameplay now of, I think it was Missile Command, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's...
that's what was in that link.
Yeah, they had... so two people had the Bluetooth controllers, but then other people were using paired phones.
Yeah. And
it looks pretty amazing, right? So for what it is, it's going to be, co-op family local gameplay. And that's kind of what made those games good back in the day, right? They're not going for... There's not going to be online leaderboards, or if there is, it's not going to be a big part of it. But we're looking forward to it. And I think even before it launches, it's probably sold more now than the Stadia. So you got any thoughts on the Amico there, guy?
No, I just like the idea of it. I mean, I love these retro consoles, and there's a lot of love going into this one. A lot of love.
Oh yeah.
And I love to see that.
So
I can't wait to try it when you get yours.
Yeah, assuming in October that the human malware situation is gone, it'll be we'll definitely have to try it out. Maybe stream something.
Absolutely. It's what we do around here.
It's what we do because we're all stuck at home. All right. This one's all you. Pokemon Go will soon let you raid from your couch.
Yeah.
And
so
go.
They've done a bunch of little things to try and get you to not go out walking, because that's the whole point of Pokemon Go, is to get out walking with your game. And they've had all these deals on like incense, which is the thing that attracts Pokemon to where you are, and just lots of events where they're just springing up everywhere around you. But the big problem still has been that you can't get any of your Pokestops unless you're right at one. And they have this, they have a 7-day, I don't know what you call that, where, you do day 1, day 2, day 3, and then on the 7th day you get a big bonus, like 7 days in a row.
Like an event, or
it's not an event. It happens every if you play every 7 days, you get a bonus every day you log in.
Okay.
And you haven't been able to do anything. You could catch Pokemon and get those on the 7-day, but Pokestops, you haven't been able to unless you actually go out and get one. But if they do this, from what I read, I'm not sure how they're going to implement it. Like, they might just let you do one raid a day, and if you can reach one raid a day, every raid has a Pokestop at it.
Okay.
So you'll get a raid and a Pokestop in a day.
Right. All from the comfort of your home.
All from the comfort of your home.
Excellent.
Because the point of those, too, is like you got to go up to them. Like, there are the Pokestops and gyms are everywhere out in the world. So they're going to put some sort of limit, like give you like an unlimited reach for one of them a day sort of thing.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Very cool. And is that coming out right away, or is it out now?
Yeah.
Or?
No, it's coming soon.
Okay.
As soon as it does, I'll have a better explanation for it.
Right on. Excellent. That's good news, and everyone's stuck at home anyway, so why not?
Mm-hmm.
So the other news is something that a group or a page that we promote quite a bit because it's an absolute great deal and you're helping a good cause, is the Humble Bundle. This one was the Conquer COVID-19 Humble Bundle, which now, as of our recording, has 1 day and 21 hours left in it. and has raised 7.3 million Canadian, according to the list. But this here, for about 43 Canadian, you get, I think it's about 40 games,
Yeah.
and a bunch of books, and some audio albums, and a free piece of software called Music Maker, which is a full-fledged electronic MIDI piece of software that is made by our friends at Magix that make what we both use, Movie Maker and Vegas.
Yep.
And it's a fantastic deal. Like I've picked it up there, and it's I'm actually looking at doing because a lot of the games had already in the Steam library. I'm going to be doing some sort of draw here to this is about 8 or 9 games, and just to gift the Steam codes for people who will come up with some sort of idea of how to give it away here. But just a great cause, great bundle, even for a humble bundle, which is they're normally really good. I mean, you're just by itself, you've got Hollow Knight, just listing some off the top. Hollow Knight, super hot. Darksiders 1 and 2. You got Jackbox Party 2, Worms Game, Party Hard. Like, you've got a bunch of games in here. Psychonauts, Brutal Legend, World of Goo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to read all 40 of them here, but they're all good games. So,
and in the comics, there's a Humble Bundle one-shot Army of Darkness story, which really caught my attention.
You bet.
And The Boys Volume 1, that the comic that the hit Amazon Prime show was based on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where it's from. Okay, it did sound familiar.
So then
there you go.
Spawn Origins Volume 1, like, there's the one big difference about this one is that there's only the one price. Usually there's tiers, but there's just the one price, and you get everything.
You get it all. One. You bet. Yeah, so check it out. When we get this up, there's probably still going to be about a day left on it, day and a half. So go check it out. You'll be glad you did, and got some good stuff in there. Next one is on April Fool's Day. The fine folks at Cellar Door Games, which is a name I didn't recognize right off the bat. It's one of those ones where it sounded familiar, but you just weren't sure why. Announced they're going to be releasing Rogue Legacy 2, which is a game that you could say spawned a whole genre, like the roguelikes, right? That was kind of the they were the ones that made it popular, and pretty exciting. It's going to be more info soon. I don't think they launched an actual date, not seeing one, but it is officially coming. So is this a game you've put any time into, Ryan, the original Rogue Legacy?
Not at all, but it's one that's been back there that I want to give a try for sure.
You bet. It is a great game. It's got a very interesting mechanic to it as well, that when each time you die, you have 3 heirs that you can pick from for the next character, and they've all got different perks. Like, some will be bigger, some will be smaller, some will have be colorblind, some like all sorts of interesting things. And there's usually a perk and a curse, right? So
cool.
Yeah, it's a great little game. They're usually priced pretty cheap as well, so watch for that. It looks like it's going to be PC to start off with, which I think is what Rogue Legacy was as well, but it did eventually come to absolutely everything. So
cool.
Yeah, this next story is Mixer, the people who do the streaming on Microsoft platforms, are giving $100 to all their streaming partners during the pandemic here. And I think you broke this one, Ryan. So why don't you?
It's just Microsoft helping them out. I thought it was kind of interesting because I thought maybe streamers would be making quite good money right now, but it seems to be more directed at the people who have just kind of reached the partner status, like they have just enough viewers to start making money on Mixer. Sure. And there's just a little boost to help them out. They're saying that a lot of the people who are at that point aren't streaming full time as their job. They still have day jobs, so they're that's how they're helping those people out. So I just thought, you know what, good on them. That's a classy move by someone who's trying to become the streaming giant.
Right.
There was absolutely absolutely pointed out that Twitch hasn't done anything like this. So
shots fired, as the kids say.
Shots fired.
Well, that's good. That's good. You've dabbled a little bit with the mixer, right?
Yeah.
You've done some Forza, I think. And
yeah, played some Forza, and I played a little that crazy game where you think you're going crazy. Can't think of the name. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, Senua.
Yeah. Senua's Sacrifice, yeah. That's not. It's got a name in front of that, though.
Oh, Hellblade. It's
Hellblade,
right? Yeah.
Hellblade.
Yeah.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah. That's all I got on that.
Excellent. Good going, folks at Mixer. Next one. This is funny because we had talked about this a couple weeks ago when we were talking with Brent and Damon, I believe. Was PlayStation Dreams, the software there lets you kind of build your own games. Wouldn't it be a great idea if they did like Unity does or Unreal does, and you could get the engine and outside of the system and play the games somewhere else? And that's exactly what they announced.
Yeah, it's in beta. It's not fully available to everyone, and you still got to kind of apply to it. But it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely,
like, this could be huge for PlayStation. So
it's one of those things. Like my son and I, because we've had lots of time here lately, have been goofing around with Unity, and actually doing some projects and making a couple little games. And right in the engine is you can export it to PlayStation, iOS, Android, WebGL, and it'll actually port it. It takes a while because it's a fairly significant process, I'm sure. And then you get a link and you can actually, like we did WebGL, and we were able to play the game in a web browser. Or you could get it and play it on iOS, and it's absolutely amazing. And Unity, they're making some good money on it. They're doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not grumpy old gamers money, but
no.
Probably
no one makes our money.
No, nobody.
Literally.
Hopefully. But a great news. So keep your eyes open for that. When they announce an official date, we'll definitely bring it up and talk about it again.
Absolutely.
But news that is hitting the gamers out there very hard during this time where everyone's stuck at home. Nintendo, if you're looking for a Switch right now, a Nintendo Switch, you're not going to get it through the traditional means like stores or buying it new, because they are sold out everywhere. That's the Switches and the Switches Lite, I imagine, right?
Yep.
Nintendo's had a couple of these stories lately. Like we were talking about Ring Fit Adventure being sold out as well.
Yep.
What do you know about this guy?
Oh, I just know that I've had at least 3 people contact me asking if I had any inside info or good ideas where they could get their hands on a Switch. They're all thinking the same thing, where I'm stuck at home and I've kind of wanted one, and I like the idea of just having a little portable gaming device that I can take with me. And so that thought has hit a lot of people, and they've pulled the trigger on it.
It is too bad. And I know, having your family home, working from home with your wife, and and your daughter there as well, being home, that you're in the same boat where you usually had a TV available. Yeah. And that's not as likely anymore. If you're a computer gamer, the family could be using the computer. The Switch is just one of those things you can pick up, and in between coffee breaks and hangout meetings and whatever you're doing for work, just or
go hide in the bathroom. Right? And
that's right. Lock the door. So hopefully Nintendo, I know they're not, most of those businesses aren't going to be in a great position to, all of a sudden increase production, because I'm sure they're having the same trouble in their warehouses and factories that everyone else in the world is right now due to the human malware. But yeah, so hopefully that gets sorted out soon. And if you can't get in a Switch, get yourself a Vita. Get one of those used. Basically the same thing. Or PSP, maybe.
Yeah, the games are dirt cheap too for the Vita.
Yeah. The one good thing with the Vitas is that the store is still open, so you can buy digitally for there, and the mainstream games are actually fairly reasonably priced. It's some of the weird ones because they had all sorts of like Japanese anime type games. They're the ones that are all.
I just know looking at the used stores and like trolling the thrift stores and stuff. I've never seen a Vita anything at a thrift store.
Yes.
And the game, they usually have 2 or 3 games to pick from at a trade-in place, right? Like there just doesn't seem to be a lot of them out there.
No, and that's the thing, and it is going to get rare. Yeah, so maybe I'm going to hang on to the Vita because it's the Vita.
Why not?
Yeah, you bet. And this one we just added. This was a last-minute news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. There you go. Rocksmith, a game, Rocksmith the 2014 edition. So I believe that's in Ubisoft, if I remember right. Oh, did I already close it? Yeah, it was Ubisoft. They just announced their last DLC for it, 383 weeks after the launch of the game. So,
that's a good run.
Say what you will about Ubisoft, but they've been supporting this game. And I think I've closed the article here, but I think over that time they've added 1,500 songs, over 1,500 songs. So, again,
that's crazy.
Yep. So if you're bored and you want to teach yourself guitar, pick up Rocksmith. As long as you have the guitar already, because it might be hard to. I guess you could go to Walmart and pick up one, but.
Like I was telling you when we were talking before, I was that close to pulling the trigger on that, but I just couldn't. And I can't remember if it was $200 or $300, the one that came with a guitar, but it was enough that it was like, do I just want this, or am I actually gonna put some time into this? And
yeah, it's one of those things where they actually included a pretty decent guitar, and that was kind of like it was a Fender, I believe, but it was a pretty decent one. Because there's nothing worse than trying to teach yourself how to learn to play guitar on a cheap guitar that keeps detuning itself because it's a bit of a pain. Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah,
congrats, Ubisoft. You had a good run. Hopefully, you find something else to make millions from along the way.
I hear they got this like Assassin's Creed or like what's his name? Tom Fancy? Tom.
Yeah, Fancy Tom.
Fancy Tom, right? All those Fancy Tom games.
Yeah, they were like broken cell units, or no, they were splintered.
Splintered, yeah.
They're probably doing okay.
Yeah.
And if you like loot boxes, Ubisoft will have you covered. They got them for days. For days. All right. Well, that's the end of the news segment. Let's break right into what are we playing. And Ryan, I like what I see in your list here, so I'm just going to let you just get right in there and tell the people what you've been playing there.
Which one tickles your fancy there? The first one or the second one?
It's the first one, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I was looking for a little comfort food this week. I actually had some time to sit down in front of the TV, and like I picked up the controller, and I was just like, I don't want to. So I came over to the PC, and this is always installed on my PC, and it's always ready to go. Masters of Orion, the 2016 remake, and man, I love that game. Before I knew it, 2 hours was gone, and I started a brand new game, and I was way into it, and I've hopped back on it 3 or 4 more times since starting it up, and just something about that game. That's one of those games that I can just pick up and play and not get bored of. And just play it over and over and over. It's great. It used to be like that with the original, like back in the early 90s. This remake is based on Masters of Orion 2, the
Okay.
original from 89, 90, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So, yeah, great stuff. If you love, what's that, they call them the four square games? Four corner. Heard that type of game referred to as something like that before. Anyway.
Okay.
The other thing, before I went to bed last night, I was checking out the store, and a game I'd had my eye on for a long time finally came on sale. And Mechstermination Force I picked up.
So, tell us all about that game, guy.
So, you ever play Gunman Clive?
Yes.
Gunman Clive?
Yep,
It's from the makers of Gunman Clive 1 and 2, which is one of those games that I have bought on 3 separate systems because I enjoy it. Well, Gunman, the first one I've bought on 3, part 2 I've only bought on 2 systems, but that's neither here nor there. The first one, it just looked amazing, and that's what caught my eye. Like, it looked really fluid, and it's got the sepia tones of the Old West. Like, it's basically black and sepia are your colors.
Sure.
And and it was a lot of fun. And then part 2 is just that poop crazy. Like, suddenly you're dealing with all this steampunk, like, bad guys, and but the platforming and shooting in it is awesome. And hence why I've picked it up. So I heard about this game, saw the trailers and stuff, and it's been on my watch list, and it was finally 50% off on the Switch store. So pulled the trigger on that. And if I had to sell it to you, Rob, if you had never heard of this game before, I'd ask you, do you like the game Contra?
I hate Contra.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
If you took Contra and mixed it with Shadow of the Colossus.
Interesting.
Just the fact that it's all boss fights.
It's all boss fights, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and as far I've done 3. I'm on the 3rd boss now, and that's all it is. It's like they're just like boss fights, and you just gotta figure out the patterns of the bosses and try and wipe them out. And good, solid, feels good to play. Yeah.
Great.
And lastly, I think I've finally reached the end of my Division 2 time this week. I've kind of done everything I want to do, and I wasn't sure if it was covered, and it's not, because when it was on that crazy sale, I bought the Ultimate Edition because I had the season pass with it, and the Warlords of New York is not included in that season pass.
Okay.
There's other expansions that were included in that. I wasn't sure. I should have did my homework. I didn't. It's my own fault. But
so did you get to the end of what you bought, or?
Yeah. Like, you can kind of keep doing stuff, so there's like no end to the game. Like,
so there's not really a story end or anything like that.
There might be, and I've got a couple other like big missions, and when I've logged on, I've tried to get groups together to do them, because I tried it on my own and that wasn't happening. So that's why I'm kind of like, well, you know what, I might give it another try or two just to try and finish off the story. But I think I'm going to move on. I think I've gotten all I'm going to get out of it.
Sure, you bet.
But I had a lot of fun. I'm not going to deny that. I think the hour count, I'm at like 67 hours or something ridiculous like that. So.
Oh, great. That's good. Well, that's getting your money's worth.
Absolutely.
And that was on the Atari Lynx, right? You were playing?
Yeah. No.
Xbox? Was it Xbox or PlayStation 4?
PS4.
PS4. Okay.
PS4,
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Excellent.
And that's where Mechstermination Force was too. It was on the PS4 or on the Switch. Sorry.
Excellent. Well, right on.
Yeah.
Thanks,
how about you? What have you been playing?
Well, after we talked about it with Mr. Chipman there, because it came up, Super Mario Sunshine, I whipped out the old GameCube and I've been giving it another go. I've tried it a couple times, liked the idea, and then just had something where I just kind of bounced right off it. But I'm giving it another go because it's fun. So I'm trying to play through Super Mario Sunshine right now, and the kids all gather around when they hear the typical Mario music, and it's there's boy, for anyone who hasn't played Sunshine, there really isn't. It's so completely its own kind of game. I mean, you got the 3D platforming, which is you've seen before, but the cleaning up kind of aspect and the which
Yeah,
for when you're
the water jetpack, like
yeah, the water jetpack is its own thing. It's very unique. I'm having a really hard time getting used to the fact that when you're aiming the water cannon, it's inverted. The inverted
yeah,
control and the inverted camera controls.
and you can't change it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep going and try to get used to it, but that I was like, right, that was something I didn't appreciate about this game. But I'm gonna give it a try and try and work my way through that. So that's Super Mario Sunshine for your Nintendo GameCube.
That's all you've been playing this week?
That's about it. There's a couple other little things, but
Yeah, not worth talking about.
No. I mean, I tried a few of the things that were in that bundle, like Sniper Elite 3, which was, good fun, but I'm not going to recommend for going out and buying new. If you get the bundle, give it a try. It's kind of neat, That's about it.
Okay.
That's about it. So we'll break right into the weekly poll.
Yeah,
weekly poll this week.
You even came up with this one this week.
I did. It's 2 out of 100 or so, but had some inspiration here. It was like, what was your favorite console/handheld console that could be considered a commercial failure? And overwhelming majority here. Well, not overwhelming. It won by 1, I guess.
Oh.
Looking at it now, I thought it was higher, but was the PlayStation Vita, which is the one I voted for as well. Followed closely by 1 vote for the Wii U, and then some stragglers there with 1 vote, the Jaguar, the Turbo Express, the Sega Saturn, and the Sega Dreamcast Baby, which I'm assuming was the junior version of the Sega Dreamcast, but that's a joke. That's yeah. The Sega Dreamcast.
Wait, what? Sega Dreamcast Mini? Huh?
The Sega Dreamcast Mini. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It was good to see some love for the Vita. Honestly, anything jump out at you as being kind of strange? Anything that?
No. I mean, you added Philips CDI, and I mean, there's more than that's a failure on so many levels.
So many levels, yeah. I don't think anyone was going to say it was their favorite one.
Yeah.
I almost put the Panasonic 3DO, but I don't think you can really call it a commercial failure because it did end up selling millions. So,
yeah.
Never really came back, but all the other ones here kind of sold very poorly.
You know what would have been a good one to put on there? I should have added the Virtual Boy.
Right, yeah. Definitely, that's true. I don't know if anyone would have said it was their favorite, but I mean, it's
yeah,
definitely a commercial failure. You're basically giving them away for a while there.
Yeah, that's still one of my holy grails of working one to get.
Yep.
I mean, if I want to plop down $1,000, I could get one on eBay, but
Right. That or a Switch right now. That's So yeah, thank you for voting everyone on that. I'm going to give some love to the Turbo Express because I almost canceled that one because I read it wrong the first way because the Turbo Graphics, of course, not a commercial failure, but the Turbo Express, the handheld version, very much a failure.
Right.
Competing with the Game Gear and a little known system called the Game Boy. But the Turbo Express was cool that you could actually play the full games, right?
And that was a dream back then, right?
Yep.
Like that's and they made it happen.
It is funny that the two systems that did that were both commercial failures, because the Sega Nomad
Right.
was also a failure.
Yeah, and that really shouldn't have been, right?
Yeah, just the world wasn't ready, and they were kind of overpriced for what they were too. But
that was definitely the thing that I think kept them down.
Yep.
Because at the time, yeah, yikes.
So, Ryan.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the news, anything in the world, just making you a little bit grumpy?
Yeah.
Something you want to share with the viewers?
I mean, the world is at a standstill right now, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a little mad at Sony PlayStation this week. So they posted that they've made the difficult decision to indefinitely delay the launch of Last of Us Part 2 and Iron Man VR until further notice. But then they added the last line: logistically, the global crisis is preventing us from providing the launch experience our players deserve. Now, I don't know about you, Rob, but I'm not a marketing genius. But if I was these guys and these games are ready to go, launch that stuff right now.
Yeah.
People, do they think they're missing out on physical sales? Because people will order that stuff, from Amazon, Best Buy, whoever, and get it shipped to their door. They'll still get the physical sales, but in download sales, people are sitting at home playing their old games.
Yep.
If you launch a new game like this, in my opinion, you're going to make you're going to sell so much more of it, because people are like, well, you know what? I love The Last of Us first one, and this new one's out, and where they wouldn't have pulled the trigger on an $80 game right out of the bat. They've played through their entire library. Let's play this now.
Yep. And I mean, if you want to look at games that have launched during the pandemic here, you've got your Doom Eternals, you got your Animal Crossings.
Yes.
And Switch games are notoriously hard to make physically. Because you've got the very difficult media, but you would have to think Last of Us was very, very close. And even if, like you said, just doing a digital launch, Last of Us 2 will sell.
It was due end of May. It was due to come out at the end of May. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the logistic reason is. There might be some people who pre-ordered maybe it has something to do with the consoles. Because there are special edition consoles for Last of Us 2, and special maybe that's what's holding it up.
Maybe.
But we're talking 1,000 people out of the millions of people who could
And honestly, tell the people give those people some sort of other setup, if it's a collector's edition or something like that. Say, okay, we will get that to you as soon as we can. Here's the download code for the game in the meantime.
Yeah. You can play the game without the statue.
Yep.
I guarantee you.
Because you're going to leave that in the box anyway. Everyone does, right? No one's opening that box unless they really need the views. Let us know if you want us to open some collector's boxes, by the way. We'll do it.
But do you agree? Or am I
Absolutely.
looking at this it seems like this should be the time. I understand movie theaters. I understand them pulling movies, because they will lose millions. Of just if they just try to put them onto home pay-per-view, right? Because you're just making the money for the movie. There's none of the concession money in there, or no money for it being in 3D or in a fancy fee, all the stuff they tack on to the prices. That's a whole industry that needs these new movies. But the gaming, people want this stuff. They
I mean, that would be great right now. And I mean, honestly, if they just, there's got to be a way. I know there'll be lots of people who've pre-ordered for EB games or something like that, and maybe they can't go pick up the game now, but if you have the receipt, work out some way you can get a digital code from EB Games. like have Sony work with the distributors and the video game stores to get these out to people.
Well, even if
and
you
that thing will sell like wildfire, right?
Even if you pre-order, you got to give them your name and number, right?
Yeah.
Like like these companies could just call you up and be like, "Hey, do you want us to ship it to you?" Like,
absolutely. Yep.
There's so many possible workarounds, but
Yep. No,
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any sort of reaction. I don't get it. Like, especially when you know that game is basically done.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like
they were just polishing it. Like, you know, it was delayed from April, right? Or no, March.
Yeah, I think it was March, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was from March. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they originally had a date of March, we're now in April. They've got to be either getting ready to stamp the thing gold, or having it finished, right? And you know, just upload it to the game store. You know,
maybe their infrastructure couldn't handle 40 million people downloading a game
maybe
all at once.
I don't know.
It
just seems like a huge it seems like a huge loss, like a huge missed opportunity. So
it really does. But you know what? When you give me lemons, Rob, I'm going to make some lemonade. And this just gives me more time to go through my back catalog.
There you go.
I'm going to look at the positive of it, even if Sony's dumb.
And speaking of your back catalog, there's a game on the back catalog that you don't know about yet.
Uh-oh.
Because for all the people out there who've been following the award-winning best series on the internet.
Oh, I wish I could turn my camera and just show everybody all the awards we got up here for this.
So many awards.
It's stunning. I can reach this one. It's the very rare Blue Stapler Award.
Yep.
We got this for a Staples employee actually watched our show and they sent us a blue stapler.
It's very nice of them. Very nice. One of the 8 people who follow us. Thank you very much. But today's game for the cheap bad game challenge, if you're being challenged with, is one I did download, and I have tried it. And it's great if you need to fall asleep. If you're having trouble falling asleep, it is. Let me know if you can see that. A little game called Car Quest.
Oh.
Can you see that?
Okay.
It's less than, it might actually be the full 99 cents. So hopefully this doesn't break the, because I know your game that you gave me last week was 27 cents.
27 cents or something.
Yeah. This game is awful. You're going to love it.
Can't wait.
So that's Car Quest. For those of you looking for something great to play on the Switch, don't buy this game, but keep your eyes peeled for
I will go through the pain for everybody.
Excellent. We appreciate you doing the work. With that, the other last thing, I guess, is that we touched a little bit on it before, but Ryan and I are going to do a special show on Friday evening that we'll probably post on the Saturdays, I would say.
Yeah.
Special show with Mr. Chris Chipman, the Chippa. If you want to find him there, he does podcasts with his brother there, and they've got several of them. Really good stuff. They talk about all sorts of things there. We were on one of his podcasts called Shooting the Poop. Again, using other words, but we're going to include a link to that, and wanted to thank him again for having us on there. And he's going to be gracing our show with his humor and his knowledge. A guy knows a lot about video games, so he's going to fit right in. I don't know how grumpy he is. He seemed a little bit happy, but we'll make an exception.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got anything else there, sir?
Not a thing.
All right. So then we're going to call it a show. So thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been episode 30. We'd have some confetti poppers or something, but we can't go buy anything right now.
I'll jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Yeah.
There you go. 30 shows.
30 shows.
It's been a blast. I have to say that when you first came up with the idea of starting the group here, it was I'm honored you picked me to kind of join the ride with you here.
Well, I gotta say, it was your idea to try this. You know, like I was just happy posting news and like talking with people, and then you're like, hey, we should give that a try.
It's been a hoot. So
Yeah,
here's
really
hoping
has.
for many more.
Yeah.
So this has been the Grumpy Old Gamers podcast, which is actually not called that. It's called You Can't Teach an Old Gamer New Tricks. This is why Ryan normally does this, but if you want original content, you can go to www.thegrumpyoldgamers.com, and that's where we post all the reviews and all the original content we do. We have a Facebook page if you look for The Grumpy Old Gamers. And we've got also a YouTube channel, which just search for The Grumpy Old Gamers again, and that's where we post all our reviews and our bad game challenges and
All sorts of stuff.
all sorts of stuff. It's
So to give it, not to break your train there, but I'm working on this week. I'm going to try and get it up this week. I have a SNES controller I need to repair, so I'm gonna try posting that and see how that goes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Content.
Content.
We appreciate it. But thanks again, everybody. Hope you're staying safe out there. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. Talk to you later.
Bye. Have a good one.